everyone, and welcome to Freedom Families on the Couch. Tonight we are talking toddlers, and we have here with us Jackie, who is a mum of 2, and we have Mel, mum of 7, including 2 toddlers at the moment, and I've got 3 under 3 as well. So we're all going to do our best to just have a chat and just talk, and hopefully there might be something useful for other mums out there. But if not, we're just going to share our experiences together. So welcome. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. So why don't we start with something a little bit more obvious to what's going on right now. So as we know, COVID-19 has kind of taken over our world, and it's completely changed life for all of us, and we've all had a hard time adjusting, but toddlers of all age groups are probably finding it the hardest. Do you guys want to share a little bit about what it's been like for you and for your families and for how you're dealing with this time?
You can go first.
Jackie, do you want to share something?
I think it's been a bit difficult that we can't just go to the local park or the library. Those sort of things is really something that they're missing. So just had to be a bit more creative and find different things to do, like out in the backyard, or have them helping me in the kitchen and that sort of thing, just to keep them busy each day.
What about you, Mel?
Yeah, it's a lot more arguing now that we're stuck inside with so many people. So they try to look forward to their daily walks, like, taking your dog for a walk. You'll take the kids for a walk. So there's a lot more. It's a lot more full on. A lot of tantrums, a lot of screaming, and that's just me.
I feel for that one. Well, let's go down that angle then, because, okay, so it's been really hard on the toddlers, but let's be honest, it's been really hard on the parents. So what about you guys? Like, what sort of things are you doing for yourself? Like, is there something that you're doing to help manage your way through? Because I know, like, for us, with 3 so young, and my youngest being a newborn, just having had a cesarean, I was really reliant upon my mum and my mother-in-law coming around to help me. And so obviously going into another lockdown in our area, it takes away that extra support system that we have. So, like, what sort of things, like, how has it affected you guys in ways that, like, are you reaching out in different ways? Are you talking to people? What are you doing to sort of help try to get through this time?
Well, I suppose it's like this, like meeting your friends on Zoom and having group chats going. Like, I've got a lot of separate group chats going on Facebook at the moment in Messenger. So you can check in with each other and see that there are other people out there having the same troubles that you're having.
Yeah.
I think I've been trying to find something for myself to do during the day when it's just getting crazy, just to try and have a bit of 5 minutes or so just to myself without having to worry about what the young ones are doing, just to try and keep my mind so it's not going crazy, just being stuck at home.
All right, so we're just going to talk about a couple of topics now as well. We've had a few topics suggested just to have a chat about and see, what's the best way to do things. Before we get into those topics, we were having a bit of a chat before we went online together here, and we were talking about the way we perceive other people, and that, like, things like Facebook and the internet can sometimes put this perception out there that parenting toddlers should be easy and that they should be toilet trained and talking by 18 months, and if you're not doing that you're a failure. And did you want to just talk into that topic for a little bit?
Yeah, there's it's like I said, it's easy to be a parent until you're actually a parent. It's easy to have an opinion on something until your child hits that age and you experience things. Like, I have a lot of mums on the site saying, your child should be toilet trained around 18 months to 2. And these people have babies, so we'll see how they go when their child's actually 18 months to 2. Your children will generally do what they're going to do in their own time. And there are mum shamers out there, so you've got to be careful you don't take things to heart.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a lot of people who only show their best of what's happening in their little world. Their child will still have struggles or tantrums or whatever, but you only see, like, the highlights.
Yeah.
So it can be important not to just focus on that and try and worry about your own little family, not so much about what everybody else is up to or where the kid next or what he's doing or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it can all just become so overwhelming if, you know, your child's not up to that or, you know, they're doing all these fantastic things, you know, and you're, you know, you're just trying to get that through the day sort of thing. So
yeah, that's the downside to social media, isn't it? Because, I mean, you look at my Facebook page, I look perfect, right? And behind closed doors, wow, it's crazy.
I know when I was a new mum, the worst thing for me was Facebook. I thought, you know, I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to join the Facebook groups to learn everything I can learn about being a new mum. And within about 6 months, I think I was so stressed because I felt like such a failure, and I was, you know, seeing all these expectations and felt like I couldn't meet them. Yet when I got talking to people, I found out that they're actually struggling just as much as I am. So I actually had to just leave all those groups and stop thinking about it and stop talking about it and just start realizing that, you know, kids, like you said before, Mel, that they do things in their own time, whether you like it or not. And
Exactly.
you just gotta roll with it and do what you have to do. And sometimes you have to do things a little bit unconventionally, put them to sleep in the pram instead of following that strict sleep routine. And you know,
yeah, that's one thing that, yeah, you find that the hardest, like because you've got your health centre coming around and all the nurses saying, do not co-sleep. Yeah, people have been co-sleeping since the beginning of time. That's how a newborn's wired. They're wired to be near the mum and near the breast. So, but you're drilled into you so much that it's wrong that you actually think it's wrong, but
yeah,
it's not. So, I mean, whatever works for you is okay.
Yeah.
So you have to do whatever you feel is right for you and your child.
Yeah.
So.
And I think too, a stressed mum is no good for anybody, not for the toddlers, not for, you know, anybody. And so if we're doing what we need to do, moving at our own pace and working with our children, we're a lot healthier too, which in turn makes for a better, healthy parenting relationship. Because I know when I get stressed out, it's no good for the kids because I'm short, I'm cranky, and you know they can't do anything right. And so I think if you're more relaxed, then you're more likely to be more calm and better around your children anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some of these topics, I guess, that have come up. So one of the topics that was brought up was sibling rivalry. Mel, as a mum of 7, you've probably plenty of this. What sort of advice or tips or what do you have to say about that topic?
Well, there's going to be sibling rivalry no matter what you do or don't do. You can't stop it. It's inbuilt. You're going to feel like you're going crazy and you're doing something wrong. Like I often just think, oh, my goodness, what am I doing wrong? I've clearly parented wrong. I shouldn't have been a mother. I'm not doing a good job at this at all. But apparently a lot of people feel that way. So
I said it to
I don't have any tips for it because you just have to just get through it and do what you can do. Like you can try separating them, but you know, it doesn't work that well when there's 7 of them living under the one roof. But you can try and separate them for bits, send them all to different rooms, and yeah, you can't stop it though.
Yeah.
I really don't have any advice in that. You just have to. You're going to feel crazy, but that's normal.
What about you, Jackie? Do you want to say anything about that subject?
Oh, I think it's pretty full on in our house at the moment, having 2 boys who love the same thing. We had to go out recently and buy, you know, another one of the similar toy to try and stop it, but that still didn't make a difference because now they both want it. So I don't really have any advice with that one either. I feel like it's really part of our everyday life at the moment. And it's something that I struggle with, knowing what to do. Like Mel said, try and put them in a different room, but then they'll be screaming in that room, or trying to get out. So it doesn't really make much difference. But just trying to instill kindness into each of them, more so into Jacob being older. He understands, to be loving to his brother, which he does at times, which is great. But a lot of the time it's just they're sort of at each other.
I think it's important to remember, though, that it is developmentally appropriate for them to do that. It means they are developing at the right rate. Yeah. So while it's very annoying for us, it's appropriate in their development and their growth. So I guess that's a positive.
Yeah. And at this stage, you're sort of learning to share, being similar age. They're learning that, and it never stops. They're always together and wanting to play with the same things.
Another angle that we have on that is we've our middle child, who's about 20 months, has just realised that the baby's not going away again and that she's here to stay. And so we've had a lot of sibling rivalry in the sense of not coping well with the new baby and a lot of jealousy. So for us, it's been a real balancing act of trying to make sure we're spending as much quality time we can with the older two to try and help curb that. And it seems to really make a difference, like just spending that time. But I tell you what, it's hard to split your time between three young children. So, I mean,
like that's a really good concept, like what you've brought up again, because I've forgotten now because we've been in lockdown for so long. But yeah, with all of them, I tried to do at least 2 date days a year. So you take one child out, just you and that child, just so you can reconnect with them. Yeah. And yeah, we haven't done that obviously for at least 5 months. So you can see the difference because they're all starting to get more clingy and feeling unloved, and like. But yeah, so that's a good point, to have date days and special times. Just make some time for one-on-one time with each child.
Yeah,
that's great.
All right. And okay, I'm going to bring this up, but I'm definitely no expert in it because we have not mastered it in our house. But it's come up a few times, the topic of toilet training. So do you guys have any tips or tricks on how to toilet train well? Because like I said, I'm still navigating that myself. So if you've got any tips, that would be awesome.
Well, for us, we 7 of them. They've been very different ages. The earliest was 18 months. Well, it was 18 months, but then we've had our later ones. The latest has been probably 4 till they're completely trained. Yeah. But I wait till they're ready. I don't think that it's something you can push. You get the children that just take to it straight away and they want to do it and they initiate it and they just do it. And then you've got the ones that don't really comprehend it or care. They like to, they're too busy doing what they're doing to worry about the toilet training. So when they're ready, they will do it. But I do use bribery. So you get like jelly beans or Smarties or something. So every time you actually do a wee on the toilet, you can have a Smartie. 1 Smartie for wees, 2 for poos. But I don't normally try that till they're around, the 3.5 in that age group. If they're 3.5, then we start the bribery. Before that, I don't worry about it.
Yeah, we sort of did the same thing in our house. Give a little chocky if they do something, and then once they consistently do it, you sort of drop that off. And obviously, we don't do that now. But even just the younger one, where he's.
What do you mean? I have a chocolate every time I go.
I'm sure you do. So the younger one, he's just starting to sit, so we're familiarising him with sitting on the potty and just getting used to, sitting for a few minutes to get him used to sitting on it before we're expecting him to go. Rarely, occasionally he might. That's fantastic. He gets all praise for that. Make a big deal about it, but we just sort of have to keep going with it and see how they go.
Yep, awesome. All right.
And never be in a hurry to night train. I'll put those pull-ups on until they're 5 if I need to. I'm not washing bed sheets ever.
Especially in winter.
Exactly. I have a lot of people be like, oh, they're not night trained, or, I'm too scared to put undies on at night. I'm like, that's not a problem. That doesn't count.
All right. Well, what would you say if you had to pick one thing that was the hardest thing about parenting a toddler? What would you say that would be for you?
The constant meltdowns. The fact that they want what they want now.
That's right. Just like having a tantrum over absolutely nothing can, any time of the day, home, not home, out of the shops, whatever, they can just get really upset over something that we might think is nothing. So it can be hard to sort of keep my cool when that happens. You think, what are you crying about this for? It's nothing, but obviously to them it's a big deal. So I struggle with that quite a bit. And like I said before, just the sibling rivalry, the constant at each other is difficult.
Yeah, it is.
So the other thing that I think I find hard, and we touched on it at the start of this, probably the hardest thing for me is if I have to do it alone. I'm very much it takes a village kind of person. I really do rely on people around me. And so this lockdown season, I'm definitely relying on connecting with people like you said, Mel, just like Facebook groups or groups like that, that sort of thing. So where do you guys go for your connection and support?
Well, it's a lot less now that it's lockdown, but prior to this we were involved in a play group on a Friday, and also last year with the one at church too. So it was really great to have friends there with kids around the same age, just to, bounce ideas off or just be able to chat about things that you might have struggles with or anything like that. It was really great to have those friends to talk to.
Yeah. Well, Mel, you run the Milky Tots playgroup at Freedom, the church playgroup. What are you guys doing during the lockdown? Is there anything going on that you could share with us? About what you're doing.
Yeah, so we're going to relaunch that as an online version in the next week or two. So if people want to log on to that, just look for the group Milky Tots and request to join it's a private group, but you can request to join it. And we'll just have every day of the week there'll be something different on it. Like we'll have a day where we can answer questions and advise each other as a group. Like you said, like what we're doing here, like with toilet training or any problems we're having with our toddlers. Or if we just want to whinge about our toddlers, we can whinge. We can all whinge together that day. Then we'll have an activity day on a Wednesday. So if you're doing activities with your kids, you can share that and you can see what kind of activities we're all doing. And, just we'll connect that way. So, if you want to join that would be great.
All right, awesome. And we'll make sure that we post the link to that group in the comment section of the video so that anyone watching, if they want to just check it out and find out more, they can follow the link to join up with the group. But I just want to say thank you guys for sharing your wisdom as we all navigate this together.
Craziness, yeah.
And like we talked about, the wisdom really, we never feel wise, we never feel experienced enough to talk about these sort of things, but I think that's the honesty about it, is that none of us are perfect parents, especially of toddlers. It's about surviving, really, isn't it? So
it really is.
It's good to talk and to hear other mums hear that they have struggles too, and hear what they're doing to get through their struggles, and hopefully someone's heard something today that might help them with something that they're dealing with at the moment. But we just want to encourage everyone who's watching to keep your eye out on the Facebook page. Our next On the Couch session will be with some trained nurses, and they're going to be talking about how to stay safe in this COVID season. So that should be interesting. So we'll post more information coming up over the next week or two. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Mel and to Jackie for joining us for this chat. It's been fantastic, and we look forward to the next session.